Hello and welcome to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk. It is the couple of days after a big game that went down football Saturday that just passed. And I got some great people that's on the show with me. We're going to talk about what happened between Georgia and Alabama. What happened? So if you enjoy the show, make sure that you share again. Once again, with 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk. I have some fantastic friends with me, somebody I've been riding with lately on his podcast, and you'll see his information down at the bottom. But Aaron Parks from Enough Said Sports. Good evening, my brother.
Thank you, man. Good evening to you, man. Feeling good over here right now.
I know you are, and sports fans, y'all know Aaron got for real answers. And that's why this time when I did a coaching segment and I wanted to bring in some little more analytical stuff, because last time I got hit over the head with all the coaches. My wife told me we got too coaching technical, so I wanted to keep the balance. So I brought a great friend in of mine, Joel Williams, all the way down in Florida, who was great friend of mine, but once again, heck of a coach, defensive coordinator. One of his biggest claim to fame, as I remember, the time we spent together here in DeKalb County coaching. But he also won a championship down at Miami Central when Duke Johnson was the running back. So with no further ado, let me go ahead and introduce Joel Williams, Coach Joel Williams, who's now at Pace Academy High School down in Florida. How's it doing, my brother?
It's doing good. It's doing good. That's a heck of a greeting there. But I got to correct one thing. We won that state championship with Miami Norland.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That was Miami Norland, my alma mater. But that's okay. That's okay.
Hey, well, I appreciate your forgiveness for deviling down that road, because I definitely understand the difference and definitely accolades to what you've been able to do down there. But see, you got a blend of we coached together at Columbia High School, and then you've got a chance to get the Georgia flavor, and now you're down back home with the Florida flavor. And man, I just wanted to hear your thoughts on what happened. And y'all got some stuff going on down there in Miami, but let's talk about Georgia versus Alabama. Now, I'm going to go ahead and open the floor, and I'm going to start with you, Aaron, and then I want you to come on, chime in, Joel, and I want you to give it to me the way you saw it, because I didn't get a chance to enjoy talking about this weekend because I was out of town and I couldn't enjoy it, but now I can roll my sleeves up, okay? So I don't have the whistle today, okay, because I brought Aaron in from Enough Said Sports podcast show. So, Aaron, what happened?
Man, flat out, what happened is that Alabama was able to expand, and I had spoke with Coach and several others and did a preview and prediction video on my channel on Enough Said Sports. If you guys want to check me out on YouTube, you can check that out. But basically, in a nutshell, man, they spread Georgia out. Okay, which is the one thing that you can do to Georgia to slow them down. A lot of people really are thinking, or really have thought in the past, that this front seven was elite, and they are. But really what makes that front seven is the multiple blitz packages that they bring with these linebackers. And when you spread those guys out, and they have to honor these receivers and very, very athletic tight ends on the outside, they don't have the luxury of packing the box and bringing all these different multiple blitz packages, which really in turn allows them to get to the quarterback. Well, Alabama spread them out, similar to how Tennessee did to them. Alabama ran some 5 wide, similar to what Tennessee did to them. But the difference is that they got a dude at quarterback, and they got a couple dudes at receiver, and that was the difference in the football game. I had told Coach, I had spoke about it ad nauseum over and over again on my channel, which is why I got so much heat from the Georgia fans, is that the Georgia secondary, I rate it right up there with Michigan State. They have been busting coverages all year long. I saw it on the film. I've been watching film on this team. I knew that Alabama would wear their behinds out because they spread them out and they can't cover those dudes back there in that secondary, and that's what happened.
It already got hot. I'm going to need some more water. I like what you're saying. Of course, all the times we've been talking about what's going on. And I can't find any of my friends that are Georgia fans to to talk to me and just reach out and see how I'm doing. So let's go to you, Joel. What were your thoughts on the game? What happened from your standpoint? And I want you to give me the coaching. I want you to, the same way you give it to me off the air, what you saw, brother, I need you to bring that. That's why I brought your intellectual behind on the show.
Well, I tell you what, I do appreciate that. But moving forward, not really being a Georgia fan, but because I was introduced to that program when I was in Georgia by yourself, and we went to a couple of those camps and worked, I was really, really impressed with, the background of the program. But this game Saturday was different. Big 99, they took him completely out of the game. Wow. They ran tempo, and he was basically a 2-down guy. After the second down, he was gassed, and he really couldn't give them anything. And just to piggyback on Coach said, the back seven really wasn't familiar with anything like that. The Williams kid, I mean, they weren't used to that kind of speed, and clearly the coverage was robust. They had no idea what they were doing. They couldn't get dynamic and couldn't get fancy how they used to be against the lesser teams in the SEC. But clearly they were exposed. But don't make no mistakes. Don't be surprised if you see a Georgia-Alabama national championship.
Oh, There we go. He threw the first blow.
Don't be surprised.
Okay, I like that, Coach. Coach, I like that. I like that. Okay, my point of view. Listen, we've been talking and back and forth, and I just knew, and for everybody that I talked to about this game, I just told them, you've heard me say it, Aaron. We've been talking, and same as you, Joel. You get the best, everybody's best on Saturday afternoons, and I just didn't feel like Georgia had faced something to that caliber. And then to tell you how tough Bama really was in this game, and I'm talking about between the ears, when Mechie went out, they didn't flinch.
Next man up.
Flinch.
Yep.
Next man up.
They didn't flinch. They didn't flinch when Williams was taking out the game against Auburn. They didn't flinch. So the mental toughness, and I kept saying, and I've heard Coach Saban say this many a times at coaching clinics. And by the way, man, you guys got to get down to that Clinic of Champions down there. It's the most amazing. I'm bragging because it's the deal. The clinic that Coach Saban has in the spring. Everything permitted. Y'all need to check it out. But he mentions to play with emotion, but don't be emotional. Well, guess what? Kirby is emotional. Okay. Yes. And, Joel, you remember all my rah-rah speeches, and, you can go.
The clipboard break-ins.
Yes. I mean, you can only go so far. I mean, those things carry you, but at the end of the day, you still got to go play. And I just felt like, and I made a call, guys. I want y'all to hear this. I can't tell you who I talked to, but Big K down in Tuscaloosa, who's very, very near and dear. I'm just gonna say the letter Big K. We had a conversation, and he told me how riled up those guys down there, and he knows the heartbeat of those players down at Alabama. And he told me, he said, "Bull, those boys are upset at the disrespect from the rankings. They are upset that they don't get any justice for the schedule they had and the teams that they face and how everybody bought their A game. They're really upset." He said it's all the way from the 5 stars to the 4 stars to the no stars. Everybody in that organization is 38 hot over not being passed over or being passed over and not claiming where they thought they should be after the Auburn game. So they said, and I quote, "They are going to make Georgia pay." Quote, unquote. That was what they said. They are going to make them pay. Now, I can't reveal. I don't want to put Big K out there like that, because he is part of that program in so many ways. Great friend of mine. But that led me, that just stamped what I was thinking all the time. Georgia, here's my thing. And now I want both of y'all to give me what you all thought. What At what point in the game, and Joel, you know where I'm going with this as a defensive coordinator yourself, what thing happened in the game that lets you know if you're Alabama's defensive coordinator, if you're Pete Golden, Georgia ain't about that life tonight? Tell me what. I'm gonna start with you, Joel. Then I'm gonna go to you, Aaron. Tell me what you thought happened at whatever part in the game that you felt like, because you already know as a defense coordinator, you know that script of what you think is coming and what you studied. But what was it that you saw early that you said, "Uh-oh, George about to be in trouble"?
I think it was maybe the tight end pop pass for the touchdown with Zero, getting him involved early. Okay. And clearly the 2 picks. And mind you, I know what the question was, but mind you, who would have thought Bennett goes 26 for 48? I mean, 29 or 40 for 48, 340, and still lose. So I just felt like they were just outclassed. I mean, just outclassed. Clearly, they had no rhyme or reason for the defensive scheme that Alabama was running. Clearly, the running game was obsolete.
Right.
So I mean, and then you go into what I call like junk passes, stuff like that. I mean, it's the matchup you're looking for, but I get that. But at the end of the day, they just was outclassed. And you and I both know that I thought Georgia was better than that.
Yes, that's what you said. That's what you said. That's why you're on the show. Okay, go ahead, Aaron. What were your thoughts on what you saw?
I'm gonna give it to you in 2 parts. I'm gonna say when Stetson Bennett first threw the first pick six that should have been a pick six, I said, okay, they in trouble. And then when I saw after Jameson Williams scored the long touchdown, okay. And then the following drive, Stetson Bennett misses on a 3rd and 5 badly, just absolutely misses Cook out of the backfield, like missed him. And he starts freaking out on Cook, starts yelling at him, starts having an issue. I knew then it was a wrap. Now, I knew going into the game that I didn't feel – I think the biggest factor, and I'll speak to you on this, Coach Williams, I think Georgia played underneath the level that they could have played at offensively.
Agreed.
And it's because Stetson Bennett is not that dude. He is not good in pressure situations. If Georgia wants to have a chance to, and I'm going to just go ahead and put this out here too. If Georgia wants to beat Michigan, they better put JT Daniels in there, is what they better do. Because Michigan, here's the thing with Michigan. Michigan is not going to be able to score the type of points that Alabama scored because and it's about matchups, Coach. I actually do, and you don't know this, but I do sports betting for a living. It's what I do. And it's all about matchups, and I look at matchups. Georgia matches up very well against Michigan. Wow. Here's the problem, though. If this game is close and it's late, Stetson Bennett will lose this football game. You better put JT Daniels in that football game if you want to advance to the national championship, in my opinion.
Wow. Woo. Yeah. Boy, what a blow. Okay, so here, let me tell you what I saw. You know, when you scheme and prepare yourself to play a team, you look at what they do well, running the ball and passing the ball. You find those plays and formations that they're successful in, and you decide how you want to pick your poison. Am I going to stop the run? Am I going to stop the pass? What am I going to make them do to beat me? What am I going to make them do? What do they do well, and what do I want to stop that they do well? So in my mind, this is what I saw the first series. The first series was a run. It was a stuff, maybe back to the line of scrimmage, or maybe a tackle for loss. It was a convincing stuff. The next play, I think, was a pass, if I'm not mistaken. The next play after that was another pass. The first thing I thought right then and there was Georgia has outthought their darn selves, because you abandoned that run like quicksand. You really had already said, see, that wasn't a run to be a convincing ground and pound run. That was a run to set up the pass, because in your mind, you have already decided that you're going to throw the ball on Bama. Mm-hmm. Okay. And you have decided that Stetson Bennett is going to win this game throwing that football. That is what I saw in the first 3 series for Georgia's offense. They had 3 running backs, and I'm not going to lie to you. The last running back was the one I was more afraid of. Not Zeus, not Cook, but the other one. I don't know, Milton or McIntosh. Okay, because he's got the jets. You know, he's the dude who, if he get on the corner, he's got the speed. Okay, so he's been my concern for a while now when they bring him in the game. Unfortunately, though, they don't bring him in the game until later. Okay, so that's one thing they
almost popped a couple too, Coach. He almost popped one.
Yes. He almost popped one.
They got him by the towel.
But here's the deal. When I'm looking at how we're playing chess in this game, and y'all both know what I'm saying. It's a chess match. Okay? These suckers done already decided, I'm going to throw the ball on you, Alabama. And I'm going to show you, I am going to impose on you that Stetson Bennett can beat you throwing the football. And I'm going to throw the ball 20 times to number 19, the Bowers kid. I have nothing against him. Great kid, great player. But 6'7", 6'8", only got 1 or 2 touches. One was a touchdown. Okay, for somewhere along the line, you abandoned that whole deal of 3 tight ends, 13 personnel, play action, and get it to one of those guys or get it to one of the backs. You abandoned, and you never stayed patient with the run. And if you wanted just to make it a slugfest, because Will Anderson wasn't really good until later when the pass rush deal with, once again, as we say, right, Aaron and Joel, when you need to be good, the good players make the good plays.
Good players make the plays.
Because Will didn't make no plays until we needed the sack. Now he's thumping skulls. Number 99 for Georgia, he wasn't there.
He was a non-factor.
Yeah, need to lose. He need to lose about 50 pounds.
I saw number 88 get rolled over. I saw him get depleted a couple of times. Emil Ekiyor drug him in the dirt. I saw it. It's on my big screen, pretty baby's new baby back there. But I saw it. I saw it. But see, what I'm really trying to say, guys, is how are you going to play that chess match game? I thought that Georgia abandoned. You know my rule, Joel. Make me say ouch. As a coordinator. Hey, make me say.
Yeah, give me a reason.
Yeah. Both y'all would agree with that. You first, Aaron, then you, Joel. Well, what do you think about that? Make me say ouch.
Yeah, I mean that's just the thing, man. Georgia, like you say, the best defense against Bama and what they were doing is running the football. I believe if Georgia runs the football, okay, I believe they can make Bama, as you say ouch in that way. You were never going to make Bama say ouch by throwing the football with Stetson Bennett. It wasn't going to happen. No matter how much you try to make this guy into something, he's not that guy. You got to stick to your strengths, run the football, and this game is much closer. Do I still think Bama wins it easily? Yes, but the game would have been much, much more competitive if you just run the football.
Your thoughts, Joel, Coach?
Agreed. They did abandon that phase of the game early. They didn't give the 3 guys, the 3 monsters they had in that backfield time to get themselves going. I think they should have attacked the perimeter a little bit more. They tried to run inside zone for whatever reason. They thought that was going to be there. I don't know why they did that. And then I had a question. Okay, if you want to say Bennett is going to be the guy to beat him down the field with his arm, who is he throwing to besides Bowers? You keep playing with the Pickett kid. He's in, he's out. He's in, he's out. Who's he throwing to? And make no mistakes. Bowers got his numbers. He went 10 for 139. Whew. He got his numbers, but at the end of the day, who else? There was nobody else.
You're right. And that part from the defensive aspect, offensive aspect for Georgia. And there's this thing, and I want you both to expound on this a little bit. When you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Get ready.
That's right.
And that's just something that I've been trying to tell people and coworkers and stuff about Alabama. They didn't have to get ready. they've been ready all season because they've been battle tested. They've been getting the hell knocked out of them. I'm just gonna keep it real. And I was one of those that wasn't in love with To'o. I made that, I made that clear. I was not satisfied as a defensive coach how he was scraping and filling gaps and his tackle ratings. I was upset about that. Okay, the offensive line, we talked about that, but I don't know if it was you or somebody else. Aaron mentioned that the center that played in that SEC championship game was a kid that didn't play all year. So how in the doggone world does he come up and play against number 99, who everybody is quote saying should be a Heisman candidate? And I saw him buddy hugging somebody during the in the middle of the line of scrimmage on the pass play a couple of times. So I need for both of you all to expound on preparedness and what Coach Saban did over Kirby in this game. I'm gonna start with you, Joel. Then I want to go to you, Aaron.
I think, and I talk about this all the time, I'm not a fan of Nick Saban simply because of what he did to my Dolphins. That's number one. But number two,
you got on the plane, Coach.
Huh?
He lied straight to the media's face and left out the press conference and got on a plane.
So dare not to digress. But I will say this. As it relates to that.
I'm sorry. Hey, Bama fans, I'm sorry. I didn't know he's gonna say that, but we keeping it real. So we keeping it real.
But as I talk about this all the time, and people ask me, how is it that guys that don't see the field, these 3 and 4 and 5-star guys, they don't see the field for 2 and 3 years, but then when they get out there, it's like, I said, because they stay ready. They stay ready in practice. They repping. They know what's going on. They taking mental reps. They got all this stuff going on. This is why I didn't think the kid Dallas Turner would be playing so early, because he's a local kid from here. Wow. Dallas is freaking amazing. Yes. He's growing up. He's doing the same thing he left at St. Thomas Aquinas High School. He's doing his thing. I just feel like the big guy, 99, I think I told you this on the phone, Bull, they just completely took him out of the game, made him a non-factor. When they start running tempo, big boy, they couldn't get the substitutions going. Big boy's up there sucking wind like the Dickens. So he's a non-factor. That's why that center who hadn't played or whatever, that's why he was able to manhandle that guy, because he didn't have any fresh legs. Gotcha. But I mean, I just think on a whole, Bama is just on another level. And maybe it was good early in the year they took that L from Texas A&M. Maybe that was a good thing. Maybe it brings some humility back to the program. Maybe. I'm not sure. But I do know if this Georgia-Alabama thing turns out again in a couple of weeks, Kirby better just put his A game in. He better come with his A game. Because like I said, in the past, you prepare for one thing and you see something else. Always have that in the back of your mind. They prepared for Hurt, they got Tua. They prepared for Tua, then got hurt, and they lost on both occasions. So now you want to tell me, how are you going to come at these guys if in the event you see them again in a couple of weeks? And I'm just convinced if you prepare. I think you said something about when I first met you back in the day with the 6 Ps. Yeah. Perfect preparation prevents piss poor performance. That's right. Well, to prevent the piss poor performance, they need to prepare in a perfect way. Wow. They need to prepare in a perfect way.
Woo, man. Okay, Aaron. Wow, that's heavy, man. I'm about ready to go put my stuff on. Go ahead, Aaron.
I'm gonna say, and well said, Coach Williams. Very, very well said. I will say this. To me, this is the essence and the key to why Nick Saban, and despite, he might not be the best guy, Coach Williams, but he's the greatest coach, in my opinion, to ever live. And the reason why I say that is because he has and this is really what separates Coach Saban from the other programs and Alabama from the other programs, is that he has a way with his players. He has a way of connecting with his players. He has a way of connecting with his coaches, and the level of focus that they have from the starter all the way back to the fourth string player. Same thing. You spoke about it earlier, Coach. When Mechie goes down, they don't miss a beat. Williamson goes out and against Auburn, they find a way to persevere and win. You know, these guys are ready to play at all times. And that's really the difference. That's really the difference. And when they put that young man in that center, and I don't know what his name is off the top of my head, but I can tell you that young man was probably the MVP of the game other than Bryce Young because he got them in the right protections. Bryce Young, guys, did not have to check at the line nearly as much, but when he was checking to the skill position players and adjusting routes, and he wasn't having to worry about the protection because that young man had everybody right where they needed to be. And you alluded to it, Coach Williams, that tempo made Jordan Davis a non-factor. That definitely had a huge, huge effect on this football game. But in addition to that, Jordan Williams, you know, if he wants to be a great player, if he wants to be an all-time great, somebody needs to get to this young man. He's got to find a way to lose about 50 pounds because if he does, he'll be a significantly better player. He will be a force to be reckoned with if he would just lose about 50 pounds. But to me, that was the essence of Coach Saban right there on display.
Wow. Amazing.
They tell me when he showed up in Athens, he was 380.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. And he was clocked at a 4.8 40-yard dash, unofficial.
Wow.
At that size. Because he's not 350. That's a little more than 350.
No, he's about 360, probably 370.
Cordy Glenn, who played for me, was not, you know, about that size, but he was 330, but that's not 350. That's not 330. That's 350 in a biscuit from Bojangles. And I love it.
Chicken from Bojangles.
And I love it from Bojangles. And that is still, and I want the Georgia fans to understand that as we talk about this, just from what happened, because they're so, you know, I can't wait to my producer, Jeremiah Long, he pulls some of these, I want to pull up some of these emails, some of these message posts that we get in Jeremiah, because I want to see what these folks are thinking, because, I mean, I don't know, I can't get them to talk to me. You know, it's almost like when people owe you money.
It's fine. Boy, you can't get nobody. Get them
I'm not trying to digress. I saw a post the other day. Guy, he's smelling his $20 bill. He said, "Why are you smelling the money?" He said, "Because I just want to make sure when I ask for it back, it don't turn to $20 funky dollars."
Oh, okay. Okay. So, real quick, we got from the oversight, we got who will be in the national championship game. Aaron, I'm gonna let you go first, then Joel, I'm gonna let you take it from there.
It's really simple. This is a really simple answer. Cincinnati is in high cotton. That's what we call it in the South when you done stepped in it. They wanted to smoke. They finna get the smoke, and they're gonna get smoked, and Alabama is gonna roll over them in advance. On the other side, comes down to one factor, guys. If JT Daniels starts for the University of Georgia, Georgia will advance to the national championship game to set up a rematch. If Stetson Bennett starts this football game, they will lose to the Michigan Wolverines.
Wow. Whoa.
Facts.
Drop the mic. That's drop the mic. Okay.
Drop the mic.
Coach, your turn, Coach William.
Well, I tell you what, I'm a Luke Finkel fan. I like Coach Finkel. I've always liked him since he was at Ohio State.
Okay.
And Ritter plays with ice water in his veins, the quarterback.
Okay.
I think this is probably going to be, if not one of the best quarterback that Alabama sees. Period. Point blank. Now, does Cincinnati pull off the upset? I would not say it on live TV. I wouldn't say that at all. But there's a part of me just hoping it's a contest.
No, I want you to say it. Oh, no. I want you. Where my whistle? I don't have my whistle. Doggone it. He got the first 15-yard penalty. We got 30 minutes into the show, and when we bring the coaches on with the analysts, then doggone it, I'm supposed to have my flag, my whistle. I'm sorry, sports fans, I don't have it. I know I had it last Monday from the coach. Joel, I want you to say it. Coach,
I'm going to tell you like this, Coach. If Alabama can't stop Ford, they're in trouble because that kid is very explosive.
Okay.
He runs the ball with so much passion, and he's explosive. If they can't stop that guy, they're in trouble. But I will tell you this: it's big lights, a lot of lights, the biggest game in those kids and that coach's career. How will they do? Only time will tell. Who do I want to win? Cincinnati. Who do I think will win? Alabama. And to go back to the Georgia Michigan game, if Georgia doesn't show up, I'm not convinced on the Daniels kid. I think Bennett can pull it off because Bennett is almost kind of in the same category as McNamara to me. But I just think they need a little bit more vertical players going downfield to get this thing off because they have a very strong front seven at Michigan. So I don't know. I'm not going to call that game, but I will say.
Oh, you're going to call it on my show. Oh,
my heart would like to see a Georgia and Alabama rematch in the national championship.
There you go for the oversight. Your turn. Go ahead, Aaron.
Let me say this. Let me speak to a couple things. One, and this is one where, it's in sports betting, guys, you learn really quick that you gotta get your heart up out of there.
Got to get it out of there.
You can't because you'll be broke. Here's the thing. Cincinnati, I'll give it to you like this. Y'all remember the Wilder and Fury fight, right?
Okay.
You remember that, right? They just fought recently.
Right.
I would argue that Deontay Wilder wanted to win that fight worse than Tyson Fury even wanted to be there. But what happened? It ain't about want to. The problem is this. Cincinnati does not have the personnel up front to keep Will Anderson off of Desmond Ridder. That's what it comes down to. Nothing else matters. You can't get to the quarterback. I mean, you can't get the ball down the field if you can't throw it. You can't keep the quarterback upright. And the other side, as far as this Georgia-Michigan situation, guys, I'm telling you right now, the Michigan Wolverines have a belief that goes beyond and supersedes talent and ability right now. They have a belief, guys. They are playing as one. They were able to defeat their nemesis in Ohio State. And if Bennett is out there half-stepping, they're going to bust it. They're going to bust their behinds.
Well, wow. That's okay. I'm telling you, there are some parts of what you said make a whole lot of sense to me. We lost Coach Joel, so we Coach Williams. I know he'll pop back up in a minute. But let me say this. First of all, Cincinnati has the best secondary in the nation. They've done a really good job. They're very long and lengthy and extremely athletic in the secondary. That is the best part of their team, with the exception of the quarterback. That is the best part of their team. I'm saying team because it's going to take a team to beat Alabama. So in that case, I don't think that they can beat Alabama. Do I think that they can keep it close for a little while? Yes. But the speed of the game for Alabama and as many people as they have that can play at a high input level, and they've been on that stage before, like you said, makes a tremendous difference. I think that type of experience. I still don't think Alabama's played their best game yet. Okay,
no.
Because they got caught sleeping on a couple of plays on the defense side of the ball that they were able to prevail later on. But I think that there were some things that they still can do better. But see, here's the deal. That's what Coach Saban is telling them. He's telling them that's not the best. We're better than that. I still see some things that we can do better, and that's the part that is electrifying about watching them play. Watching them play is that the fact that that's still not good enough. Yeah, you got rid of the rat poison from last week, but other than that ain't it. So, Jeremiah, if you can shoot me with another one, just see what some folks are saying. I just wish my Georgia fans would come on out and speak to me, show me some kind of love, because I don't know what happened and why. I mean, everybody's popping off. There you go, Coach.
Coach
Williams, Joel. There you go.
Okay. Jeremiah, good to be back.
Gotcha. It was probably a Georgia fan got mad at some of the comments you made, and
but I'm Georgia. I'm Georgia.
Yeah. By way of Miami.
Yeah, but the like I was saying, Coach, the elements in everybody. I was going to mention this to you too, both of you guys. Actually, the elements of an upset, guys, is when the public overvalues or undervalues a team and there is a matchup problem. Okay, that's when you get an upset. That's why you, in a situation like this game doesn't have the right ingredients, because what Cincinnati does well, which is throw the football, really. I mean, they kind of run it. They don't run it great. They somewhat. They throw the football, and the problem, and you got cut off, Coach Williams, when I was saying it. They can't protect Ridder is the problem. If they could keep him upright, this game could end up being closer, but they're not going to be able to keep them dogs off of him. Gotcha. I don't think.
Gotcha.
I'm just saying my thought process is looking. I've been watching Cincinnati all year. Like I told Coach Bull, I really hadn't seen too many Alabama games. It's not for any particular reason. But I've been watching Cincinnati, and I was very, very impressed on how they handled Notre Dame. I really was. And everything, and Coach Bull and I talked about them playing Houston. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Coach Bull said Houston was going to take them out.
I did say that. Yes, I
did, right? Yeah. So, and I'm like, and I don't know if that was because of feeling or maybe he likes Andre Ware. I don't know. But if you haven't been watching this, Coach Luke Finkle is a heck of a ball coach, man. He gets those kids prepared week in, week. Now we can't talk mess about the schedule they have because that's the schedule. But if you beat everybody on the schedule convincingly, you have the right, if not the privilege, to be there to play the likes of an Alabama. And make no mistakes about it. If Alabama comes out there playing like they played Auburn, they're going to lose.
And that's just it, though, Coach. That's just it. This is, and I said this on the live stream the other night, Coach Bull, but I don't think you got this part. Alabama is so good that they have that "are you yet" syndrome. The Patriots went through it in their dynasty. The Golden State Warriors went through it in their dynasty, here recently. You look at all of these really supremely talented teams. They got that are we there yet? Are we there yet? LeBron-led teams. Y'all seen in the NBA, LeBron-led teams, 4th, 5th seed. Don't matter. Still going to the NBA Finals because when it's time, they show up. They just weren't motivated to play, man, and you guys know it better than I do. It's hard to get a 18, 19, 20-year-old to really respect a team they just saw lose to South Carolina. It's just hard. It's hard to do. It just did. I don't care how much you try to tell a kid that, hey, you really got this team is dangerous. This team, man, in the back of their mind, they're like, okay, coach, man, when am I gonna hang out with my girl? They in the meeting texting.
That was the problem that I had with people that were telling me that that we weren't anything, that Bama was not that good. But the reality of it is everybody is bringing their best game. And to Cincinnati's defense, the biggest problem that I think they have is they're not pretty in their ability to win. It's not a flashiness to it. It's just a truly workman's life, lunch pail, hard hat, and they go take people out. And sometimes they start slow. Sometimes they have a lull in the game. And then sometimes they just have a big play happen, and there's this succession of big plays. And then before you know it, even less past Saturday, they were up 14-3, but it didn't look like they were up by 1 point. And then next thing you know, they went ahead and they pulled away in the second half. Those are the things that Cincinnati doesn't get the cosmetic points. They're not pretty in how they win, but you do have to flash and look at who they play, because it's Tulsa, it's Indiana, it's things of that nature. But like Coach Williams said, they won. They 12-0, so now we're going to find out what they're made of. Now the question that we got the post question was, how did Michigan get here? Well, I'm going to let you guys explain that to me, to the viewers, because I will be the first to tell you that I was not convinced about Michigan. I had all my eggs in the basket with Mel Tucker and Michigan State, okay, before they got slapped around and got their feelings hurt. And I realized how they got their feelings hurt. So I will be the first to admit, until I watched them these last 2-3 games, I didn't know that Michigan was that good. So I will let you guys go with that on how did Michigan get here to be in the top 4, to be playing in the playoffs. Go ahead with you first, Aaron.
And I'll say, Coach, I know you'll remember this. When they played Ohio State, what did I say would happen?
You said that they were going to beat Ohio State. Yes.
Yes. And here's the thing about this team.
You said Ohio State couldn't stop the run, and you said, well, go ahead. But that's what
they were going to run it down their throat. So here's the thing with Michigan. This is how they got here, guys. This is, to me, Jim Harbaugh deserves the Coach of the Year award. No question about it in my mind. And here's the reason why. This is probably only his 3rd or 4th, best Michigan team as far as talent. He did a phenomenal job, guys. You got to remember, he lost recruits. He lost guys to the transfer portal. He lost some key pieces. Couldn't really find a quarterback that would fit the scheme. He goes out, gets a young coaching staff. And this is where the underrated move is, guys, is he goes to John Harbaugh, his brother, plucks that young man off of his coaching staff, brings him into Michigan, sets him on that staff. Goes out and gets a young offensive coordinator and says, "Hey guys, look, this is the ingredients in the kitchen. I know y'all know. When you grow up tough and you grow up poor, I grew up with not a whole lot, and sometimes Mama had to get in that kitchen and just put together some things and okay, I got a can of this and I got a can of that and I got a can of this. I can put this thing together." That's what
we call that goulash.
That's what you did, and you know what? It tasted good too, didn't it? That's what Coach Harbaugh has done. He got this personnel. He said, okay, all right, I don't have a great receiver. Yeah, Ronnie Bell, the senior, he goes out, in the first game. I don't have a great receiver. I got a decent tight end. I got a really good run blocking offensive line, but I don't have a great pass blocking offensive line. I don't have a quarterback, but I got some dogs in the backfield. So what he did is he put together a ball control power running scheme out of the shotgun formation, leveraging the defense beautifully, playing to the strengths of his football team and running play action passes off of that in order to stretch the field and get his guys wide open for passes and be able to threaten the defense. He did a phenomenal job. And as a result of that, he allowed his defense to then be fresh. He allowed them to be on the sideline. He controlled the time of possession. He allowed those dogs, Ojabu and Hutchinson on the edges, to hunt because they're always playing from a position of strength.
Right.
So the way they got here was that Jim Harbaugh was smart enough to say, you know what? I don't have all the answers. I need some help. Let me go out and get some fresh ideas, young coaching staff, and voila. And look at that. A lot of coaches don't have that kind of mindset, guys. You all know it. They don't have the mindset and the lack of ego to be able to say, hey, I don't know best. Let me go out and get some assistance. And now look at them, man. They're in a great position. I am so excited for this Michigan team. They're much further along than they should be because let's just face it, Ohio State is a much better team. I mean, I'm just going to tell you, they just happen to match up really well with them this year. But it's really good to see Michigan in this spot, regardless of what happens. I just think it's phenomenal, really good for the program, and it's going to give them probably some good future recruits to be able to build upon and make the program even better.
All right, Coach Williams, I saw your eyes flinch up, man. I saw them hazel eyes get wide. Tell me what you're thinking.
I think, simply put, Jim Harbaugh, he started to listen to himself. And he threw the arrogancy out the door and realized he don't have to always be the smartest guy in the room.
Ooh.
And that's a plus. So now when you're listening to yourself and you're listening to others and you come together with a collaborative effort and you put it on the field, and that's always – it took them 7 years to get there. 7. But now they've arrived, and now it's time to cash in. But do they beat Georgia? No. They don't beat Georgia. I just think. I'm not going to say the stage is too big. I just think they've already felt like they've gotten there. Because to beat Iowa the way they did, that's something that they've never done. To put that many points on them like that, they've never done that. So that being said, he's not the smartest guy in the room. He did get some great young minds to make it work, and it's working for those kids, and they're responding. Because there's nothing better than a coach loves to see when kids respond to the scheme. And they're responding. And that's why Hutchinson is able to go out there and eat all he wants to, because he doesn't have to worry about playing in space. He don't have to worry about pushing and then dropping in the flat. He don't have to worry about that. Pinheir's back and go get it. That's it. So therefore, as it relates moving forward, I just think he replaced some things about himself. He reevaluated himself, and now he realized he didn't have to be the smartest guy in the room and got some help. And that's how it works.
I would agree with both of you all, but definitely Coach Williams on that point about, he went and got, talking about getting the smartest people, you don't have to be the smartest person in the room. He went and got Josh Gaddis as his OC, who Josh was a receivers coach for University of Alabama on one of the national championship teams, also in that room with Lane Kiffin, Steve Sarkisian. So, those, being able to rub off on some successful people and pulling from that branch, pulling a coach from that Saban branch and bringing him on your staff and making him the OC. And what I credit Josh Gaddis for is once he left Alabama as a receivers coach in the national championship ring, he didn't try to go become a head coach somewhere. He decided he wanted to be an OC to carve and hone his skills as being able to help offense succeed. So it parlays into exactly what you're talking about, as well as what you talk about, Aaron, about some of those things. I think the part with when you're asking a question, how did Michigan get here? I remember when Harbaugh first got the job at Michigan, and remember all those satellite camps he had, Joel, all over up and down the East Coast, Aaron, and all over America, that whole show. He was trying to win a recruiting battle by being hip hop and innovative. And it still comes down to what you can do when you strap that helmet, shoulder pads on. And it sounds like he just, like both of y'all saying the same thing. He found that out. Hey, listen, man, let me get some people in here that might know some stuff. And then they worked what they have. I just remember him he took the team to Ireland, or where did he take?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that wins you games. I don't know if you're trying to teach a kid to be more conscious of the world and society. I get that, but you're getting paid to beat people on Saturday afternoons. So maybe he just said, you know what? I need to stop all the show and let's get ready to go. And let's get ready. So to answer that question, the question that was posted, and Jeremiah, if you have any other folks with questions in regards to comments, it's amazing how the Georgia fans just won't come out the way they should anymore. And just so you know, I really enjoy the fact that Michigan is a part of this conversation now, because what is college football without Alabama, USC, Michigan, and one of those Florida schools? Now, I take things.
We'll be back.
What
I hope so, man. I'd love to see
college football without y'all remember them days of watching Pete Carroll on the West Coast. We all stayed up to watch Reggie Bush do his thing. We all stayed up and watched that national championship game against Texas. And what is college football without Michigan? I mean, real talk. And maybe from what you guys are saying, maybe something has come across to help this happen. My thing, and this is where I want to go down this road, and some people think it's dark, but it's not dark, but it's just the reality of what we see as people watching this game and being part of coaching. We all know coaches on these big time staffs and stuff, and I've made sure that the critical analysis I have is fair in that it's what I see and I can prove to you according to what I see. You know, if you don't do something right, like Henry To'o, I was really not happy with his ability to fit gaps and run scheme. You know, he's missing too many tackles. So it's just amazing. Somebody saw the show because all of a sudden he fixed it. And maybe Pete Golden jumped his butt enough to say, God dog it, you need to get this right, because this is what helps Alabama be successful. So my question to you all is, you know, the question everybody's saying, and I heard this actually before the game all week, that people were preparing, fans were preparing, that they thought Kirby was going to put JT Daniels in the game if things didn't go well. Well, hell, things didn't go well. Kirby didn't put him in. So let me ask you, both of you all, yeah, it's a down a dark road, but it's going to uncover some things in you all's answer. What is about to happen in this game for Georgia coming up when they do play? Is Kirby going to pull Stetson Bennett if he's not doing the right thing? Let's start on that one, and then I want you to talk about Bama and what it's going to take for us to go ahead and beat Cincinnati. So I want to start with you, Joel. Is Kirby going to give the hook? And then what do you think about Bama's chances on what is going to be the key parts of the game for them to take out Cincinnati? Then you.
Thank you, Coach. When I think about the Bennett kid, quite honestly, he's the people's choice. They always talk about the fact that he was a preferred walk-on and he won the job, and they gave him the opportunity to win the job. And that's number one. So I don't think that Kirby will just abandon that right off rip. I really don't. And as it relates to him moving forward against Michigan, if he gets in trouble like he did in Alabama, yeah, I'm going with Coach A. Yeah, he's coming out, and we're going to go with the Daniels kid. He's coming out. But I think he's going to give him the opportunity to make up for some bad throws, some 2 picks, obviously. He'll make up for that. And at the end of the day, we just have to see how the cookie crumbles. Alabama to beat Cincinnati, just do what you do. Do what you do. You don't have to come up with no perfect scheme. You don't have to come up with any elaborate back 7 coverage. Just do what Alabama does. But I do think, though, if Alabama comes in there with any kind of arrogancy,
gotcha,
and those boys start to believe and they start to look down and say, hey, we in the game with these guys in this third quarter with 10 minutes in the third quarter, and they're playing with these guys and it's a 7-10 score, that's going to hurt. And that does nothing more than amp up the Cincinnatis of the world. Okay. But I think Bennett will play. I think Bennett will do his thing. But if Bennett gets in trouble, he'll have to sit down. But the problem with that, if he sits him down, he never gets back up. Gotcha. He's not going to get back up, and that's the problem. And I think Kirby really likes that kid. I think he does.
Well, and sports fans, listeners that are watching, you're hearing that from Coach Joel Williams, who is a Georgia fan, but he coaches in Florida, part of the state championship team, Miami Northern High School, but he has coached in Georgia. So you're hearing, to me, a very unbiased thing here with his point of view, because he's got the privilege of being a Georgia coach, coaching Georgia high school football, coaching Florida high school football on both successful levels. So you hearing it there. All right, Aaron, your turn. I want to know, does the hook come? And then 2, how does Alabama take Cincinnati out?
All right, here's the deal. The hook is not going to come. Kirby is going to go down with this ship. He will not put JT Daniels in. He will not start JT Daniels. And as a result of that, Georgia is going to lose this football game. Now, with that being said, to speak on that before I move on to Alabama, the reason why I keep being so staunch about that is this. Stetson Bennett is and when I study him on film and coach, I study probably 10 to 12 hours a week. I don't get a lot of sleep because I also run an insurance agency. So I'm a busy guy. So I study a lot. And one of the things that really bothers me about Stetson Bennett is that he really, really struggles with 4-man pass rushing. If you can get some edge pressure on Stetson Bennett without blitzing, he is one of the worst rated quarterbacks in the country.
Gotcha.
He really has trouble against it. Where Stetson Bennett excels is actually against the blitz when he can break contain and get out of the pocket and either throw the ball down the field that way or use his legs. Right. The problem with this matchup for Stetson Bennett specifically is Michigan does not blitz a lot. They're one of the lowest rated blitz teams in the country because they got those two guys on the edge, and those two guys on the edges are better than what they saw with Alabama. Okay, that's a fact. Yeah. And that's going to cause major problems for Stetson Bennett. And I don't think Kirby, like you said, Coach, I think Kirby has a special affinity for this young man, and I think he's going to leave him in there to his detriment. That's my opinion. Now, what I say that, in my opinion, it's like this. Nobody cares about us as far as whether or not they like us when we get ready to do our jobs, right? Right. And that should be the same way with these kids. Stetson Bennett does not give Georgia the best chance to win this football game. And if Kirby Smart is smart, Kirby Smart, he will take JT Daniels and put him in the football game and go ahead and be preparing. You got several weeks now. You got 3 weeks to get ready. Put JT Daniels in there and set him down, but he won't do it. Now, to moving on to Alabama and Cincinnati, I'm going to tell you what's going to get Cincinnati absolutely roasted in this game. They are going to try to go one-on-one with Sauce Gardner and Kobe Bryant on the outside. They believe they are Sunday players. They're going to roll those safeties down in the box. Luke Fickell is going to stop the run, and they're going to go one-on-one, and that's what's going to get them killed.
Wow.
That's going to be the key to the game right there because they believe in those corners, and they should.
They're
Kobe
good.
Bryant
They're very good.
and Sauce Gardner are legit. But guys, that dude, that guy Williams, that's different. That's Jerry Jeudy. That's these guys with all that speed in the pass that Alabama had. Yeah, you can't cover this guy one-on-one. They're going to try though.
Wow. Now
he's a cover buster.
A coverage buster. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Talking about Jameson Williams.
Yes.
Oh, he's just so fast, man. And not only that, it's not just the speed, it's the precision route running is going to be the problem here.
In my opinion, Coach, that young man runs routes better than the Smith kid did.
That's what I said.
Yeah, he's smooth, man.
I mean, I'm glad that we have him because here's my key. Here's what I think is going to happen. First of all, Kirby is a defensive-minded coach. And yes, we become extremely conservative in our mindset sometimes as defensive-minded guys when we're head coaches. And we do roll into that loyalty / I'm going to go down with the ship with you. Unfortunately, that is Achilles heel in the mindset of defensive coaches. I'm just going to keep it real. If y'all don't like it, tough. I've been doing this a long time. That's just what we do is we don't broaden our horizon when it comes because we are a defensive mindset. So unfortunately, I agree. I would like to see Georgia for them to get to the championship game. I do think they have to implement JT Daniels because as a coordinator, if you put that rascal in the game, I mean, there's going to be hell to pay because now, Coach McDonald has to prepare for this guy. And if he didn't prepare, it will show. But I'm here coaching high school ball. Kirby's getting paid millions to do what he does. But I'm just saying for them to get to the next game. And now I move that over to the other part with Coach Saban. At the end of the day, that's what makes him a genius. He's proven that he gave Lane Kiffin that offense, and he got his butt kicked in the spread stuff by Clemson. He brings in Lane. Lane spins it, throws it everywhere. Okay, Lane leaves. He's got Sarkisian, and so but as a veteran coach, he decided to allow something else to happen to project change, create change for success. And that is the whole experience of being a head coach and a master at it. That is the difference between Nick Saban and Kirk, because you all knew when you all saw LSU win that national championship, they weren't spinning that ball around like that. It was great defense, and they had a pounding game and special teams. So he elevated his mind. He decided to go try other things. He said, if this is going to kick my butt, then why don't I go ahead and try it? Hell, what could hurt? It beat us, and I thought we were pretty good. So at the end of the day, I think that those are the things that I don't think that Cincinnati has enough in the tank to stay with Alabama. I believe that they're going to move Jameson Williams around, a lot of open. And listen, at the end of the day, Superman is number 9. And if you don't have something, then he flicking stuff off the side of the back of his earlobe and just throwing stuff. So guess what? You can't stop him. Now what? So now you can't stop that monster. You rush 3, drop 8. You rush 4, you blitz. By the way, leave it here. Georgia that magnificent front 7, never touched number 9. Hello, Georgia fans.
But there was only 1 sack in the game.
Yeah.
I'll speak to that real quick, guys. The reason why they never got to number 9 is because it's quite simple. They had to leave those safeties back. A lot of good it did them. But they had to lead the safeties back, and people missed that in that matchup. That was something that was really missed, guys. Those safeties all year long have been playing about 5 to 10 yards off the line of scrimmage.
That's because they were in the, I wish Zay was on this show from Fandatic.
They were in zone, right?
Yeah. They win zone. They win zone.
Yeah, they were.
They were in the zone, all right.
Yeah, they were in the zone. You saw the zone got them this past Saturday.
Yeah, but that's what happened. And because they weren't there, you can't now blitz those linebackers, see, because they're all spread out. Yeah, you can't. You can't. It handcuffs you. Now, I'm going to tell you what Cincinnati's going to do that's different. They will touch Bryce Young because they coming. I bet you money they're going to run some zero coverage with no safety in the middle of the field, and they're going to throw the kitchen sink at him. And Bryce is going to have to throw that football, and he's going to have to take a couple of them chops.
He's going to have to throw that football fast.
I believe he can do it, but he's going to have to because they're going to leave Kobe Bryant and Sauce Gardner on an island.
Well, you know what? Better said. So with that, fellas, I leave you. Give me your prediction on the score in both games coming up. Give me your prediction. I don't want your national championship score yet because we'll come to that another time. But give me your score. Keep in mind these guys are going to be out for almost a month. Got to get their grades in and then go see mom and them and say hello and we love that. And then they need to safely get back to school in January. But give me your score. Give me your prediction. Real quickly before we go, Coach Joel, I'm going to start with you.
Okay, Alabama, Georgia, Michigan, 24-17, Georgia.
Wow.
Alabama, Cincinnati, 48-3, Alabama.
Ooh, guys. Ooh, down goes Frazier. Okay. Ooh, I like that. Okay, go ahead, Aaron.
I'm gonna start with Alabama, and I'm gonna match Coach's score. It's exactly the score I had in my mind. I'm gonna say 48-3 Alabama. I just think it's just gonna be almost impossible for Cincinnati to score. And on the other side, because I believe, and I'm gonna put the caveat out there, if JT Daniels starts, then I like Georgia here, but I don't think he is. So I'm gonna say Michigan wins this game in an absolute slugfest, 21-17. Michigan.
Ooh, wow.
Good.
Okay, you stole my thunder. I'm gonna leave it with this. Georgia, Michigan. I think that Michigan is going to play a great game, and I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a special teams play late in the game that gives Georgia the win. So the score I'm looking at it being around a 28-21 score. Okay, I think it's going to be kind of close. And I say that only because Michigan is going to bring their lunch pail and go to work. But at the end of the day, there's some athleticism things out in space that might create a problem for them. I just don't know how they're going to match up with the both tight ends,
They're going to bracket them. They're going to bracket them.
And I think that Pickens Georgia's going to find a better way. But I think the special teams part is where Georgia's going to win that game, and they're going to make it to the national championship game. Now, on the other side, I will tell you right now, that is going to be, to me, what I think the first half be a slugfest. But when it's all said and done, I don't think that Cincinnati's offense will be able to deal with Alabama's defense. And I think Alabama will have 2 scores in that game, okay, and they will cause multiple fumbles. And their ability to flip the field is going to put them in the position, Bryce Young, where he doesn't have to go 80 yards. He'll have to go 40 or 50 instead, 55 yards. And I think that wear and tear is going to get to Cincy. Cincy is a solid, fair judgment that they are where they're supposed to be, but they're going to have to kiss the baby. Yep. They're going to have to kiss the baby. You're going to find out, what SEC deep South. I say that, and I stick my chest out when I say it. Deep South football. That's what you're going to get, but it's going to be a great game. And so I think that Bama and Georgia are going to meet again, and we'll see how things go. I hope tomorrow my Georgia fans will speak to me, my coworkers. Just say hello. I'm human. We're human. Kumbaya. Let's have some fun. I ain't got to stick it to you, because when you know you're good, you don't have to say anything. But
it ain't bragging. It's true.
I'd like to see Georgia game again.
Well, I'm gonna say this too. By the way, guys,
I got some guys over there I love on that staff, man. I want to see that game again. I mean, heck, I told you I already pay tax dollars. I work in Georgia, so my money, whether I like it or not, is going there. My tax dollars, okay. But I would like to see that game again. And that's me talking to Georgia high school coach. Working in Georgia high school, okay, so school system. So I'd love to see it, and I think that's what's going to happen, guys. So hey, man, I'm glad we got a chance to wrap. We got some other stuff. Next time we get together, man, we got to talk about some of this coaching stuff going on. And Coach Williams, I'm just going to go ahead. We got to talk about what's going on down there in your side of town, down there in South Miami. Yeah, we're going to have a whole show just for that now. So,
I'm going to say this just in light. You find out this college coaching thing is a business, but it's a dirty business. Woo. It's really a dirty business.
Nasty.
When a man, and I'm not going to go too far with this, a man is out there recruiting kids, and now he finally he don't have a job. But anyway, that's another discussion for another show.
Sports fans, I can't wait. We're going to have a show about this. And all of us in this podcast arena have fun. We all have points of views and angles, and it's fun. Make sure that you get to Aaron's show, Enough Said Sports. You can find him, hit him up, subscribe. Great show he does. The man knows his stuff. And
Aaron, you on YouTube?
Yeah, I'm on YouTube. Yeah, just go on there, search Enough Said Sports, and I'll pop right up.
Yep, he's the man, the myth, the legend. And thank you for coming on my show and being able to share some love and your experience on things, man. We almost like we've been brothers from another mother for a while. So I'm glad you're here. Now, Joel, I got to bring you, we got to come back. We got to talk to Miami Love Talk. So I want you're going to be sitting in the chair with this big fella. So get your mind right. I'm going to give you a couple of days. Sports fans, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about how this stuff is getting flipped in Florida, down in the deep south part of Florida. And I got the right man, my brother from another mother, guy that I coach with up here in DeKalb County, Columbia High School, Joel Williams. He's going to give me the butter from the duck.
And to that testament, I got to tell you guys, I came in this game under some great tutelage, man. Some great tutelage that I was able to bring back home and put some stuff together and understand it ain't always about Jimmy's and Joe's if you know X's and O's.
Amen. Amen, brother. That's a fact.
I like that. Amen. I need to put on a t-shirt. Hey, man, how about you put on a t-shirt and let me wear it?
Hey, you got it. You got it.
Hey, fellas, thank you on behalf of my producer, Jeremiah Long. Jeremiah, thank you, man, for steering the ship tonight. And thank you so much for being here. You folks that are watching the show, like, share, and like, and just know that we will be back. Be there to see you again. Once again, Thank you so much. Hola, Avery Ortiz. Hola.
¿Cómo estás?
¿Cómo estás? Bien, bien, ¿y tú?
I'm working on mi español, Avery.